Welcome back, everyone. We're in the car. Welcome back, everyone. We're in the garage working on the car. And today we are going to get into cleaning and prepping all the surfaces, engine bay, interior, getting all that dirt and grime out of this car so that when we're ready and it's warm enough outside, I don't have to wear a beanie anymore, we can get to work on painting and prepping the interior for finishing. So what I got to work with today, I picked up some tough stuff based on some of the stuff I've watched. I shout out to Jimmy Oaks on his channel. His team is using it. It works great. So I picked it up, wanted to try it, and to show you how great it is. All the suspension components we talked about in the last video. My spring buckets for the rear upper arm, pretty grimy, pretty bad. Spray this one. Just quick pass, wiped it with a rag. It looks amazing. This looks like enough to scuff some of the bad areas, do some prep all, and just rattle can this, and this will be good to go after bushings and whatnot. But this worked great. So I went into the engine bay. This whole corner, shock tower, amazing. Just quick spray, wipe over, and it's clean. There's nothing left around there. So this is pretty cool. So I'm gonna try and hit this area, try and get some of the good, like the bad surfaces up here, and just get 90% this. And then what I want to do on the interior is get in here, get all that dust and dirt off these areas, maybe try and clean the floor a bit, and go from there. Once this is done, you can start prepping this more for paint. One thing I did off camera, maybe in the last video, is I bought some of these blades, these small 3-inch, 2-inch, 2.5-inch, whatever, cut-off wheels for my die grinder, and I went around and cut off all these studs that are all over, in the wheel well. There's one there, there's one up there. All those studs that were threaded for some of the covers, the ducting and whatnot. So I'm gonna try and get all those out, and then at some point I'll come back and grind them smooth. So thing to think about when you're taking this stuff out and you're not gonna have interior anymore, you gotta remove all that. So fun stuff. So let's get to it. Let's cut to the time lapse and see how this transforms. Stay tuned. So one thing to remember, I spilled all that from previous video, probably tag it, all that brake fluid down over here. If you look at it, it doesn't look that bad at all. There's a little bit like right here, on some of the, the seam sealer where the paint's gone, but everywhere else, it looks really good. Like up here, there's some like scuffing, previous owner, whatnot, but like all that grease, grime, cleaned up pretty good. One thing I'm noticing, using these rags, the rag, you're getting some of the red fibers coming off, but when I prep this for paint later, I'll get a tack cloth, some all prep, some nice towels, and prep this, so I'm not too concerned about these right now. I'm just trying to get the bulk of the stuff off. These are cheap. Going with that, so continue the time lapse. This has turned out great though. All right, so the engine bay is done. Time lapse missed one part of it. Huge transformation. Also pointing out some flaws in the chassis. So you look at some light, under some light, this corner, you can see the bend here. You can see that whole portion was straightened at some point. This side's I don't know what happened or what chewed that up, but this side is even worse. But you can see it's slightly bent up there too. Not a huge, I'm not too disappointed, but whatever, it's a race car. But looking at the entire chassis itself, the paint pretty cleaned up pretty good up across there, and as tight as I could cleaned up in there, and then the overall this side. So pretty good just for kind of a, just a clean off pretty much. So I'm happy with it. So let's move on to the interior. everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I got a lot done. The transformation's pretty cool. Seeing the interior, you know, that panel clean, all the back. Side note, I didn't do the rear partial self. I'm gonna wait till I get the glass out, and then I'm gonna really clean that and get all the sound editing out. So another time, same thing with the trunk. I'm gonna leave it for another day. But this looks insane how clean that looks. So with the engine bay and the interior area pretty clean, I'm gonna wrap it up here. As I kind of broke out, or as I said in the last video, I got my stickers. They're getting delivered tomorrow, actually. So hit me up on Instagram if you want one, to support me and support this build. Greatly appreciated. Even just the views, that's greatly appreciated too. So like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more. Have a good night.